and salutations. Welcome to Mad Tinkerer Gaming. Now, I'm doing this video kind of an odd time for me. Normally I'm doing these around midnight, but I didn't do my run last night in Dark Dimensions 3 because I kind of wanted to do them a little earlier in the evenings. So I'm going to do some Dark Dimensions 3, just probably one shot at Node 2 again. But before that, I'm going to remind everybody, if you like my content, give me a thumbs up, click the subscribe button, hit the bell icon so you know when I post up another video. I'll also remind everybody at the end of the videos to do that as well. So keep watching through this. Now, before I go do the Dark Dimensions 3, though, I wanted to talk about placement of tanks and just in general team placement. Now, the easiest way for me to do this is just to go in here and show you my teams and the setups I've got. Now, most teams, it doesn't really matter, okay? You can click them, you can set them up however you want to. So this was my selected team, okay? Now, with this build right here, I pretty much have taken Mr. Sinister, Mystique, and Sabretooth that are all part of the Marauders, and I've paired them up with Magneto and Juggernaut, which Juggernaut I'll probably try to swap out with Strife a little bit later on. The reason I've done this is because Mags helps feed Mystique her synergy, right? So she's going to get in there and she's going to be able to beef up everybody. And this isn't my normal setup, so I'm not sure exactly what's happening. I'll show you what I normally set up. This is the way my team normally looks like. One, because most people are going to be targeting Juggernaut over here on the end, or they'll hit Sabretooth. And I like to keep Mystique back here because if they hit Juggernaut, it might splash to Mystique. She's normally in stealth, so it breaks that chain. I had to put Sinister somewhere, so I went here. There's not really a true safe spot for him. But when he clones, I'm going to clone somebody important like Phoenix or whatever. But for this team, it really is, I want my tank on the end to try to absorb the damage, and just some other character over here that has a high life and heals, like Sabretooth has a regeneration already on him. So that's why I put him there. If he gets hit, he'll regenerate. Now, most people are talking like, well, what about splashback effect? So I want you to look at the team setup we've got here. If you look at it, like Sabretooth is number 1, Sinister's 2, Magneto's 3, Mystique is 4, and Juggernaut is 5. There's also slots for if you have characters that create minions. And we'll say the slot behind Sabretooth will be A, in front of Sinister is B, behind Magneto is C, in front of Mystique is D, and behind Juggernaut is E. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you have A, B, C, D, E. Now, right now, a lot of things are chains, so they'll target adjacent characters and keep moving through it. For example, like if Deadpool does his automatic and he hits the Juggernaut, it can chain to Mystique and then to Magneto and then keep going to Sinister and Sabretooth, depending on how far up you have his power abilities. Same with Spider-Man, same with Daredevil. What breaks these chains are things like block, counterattack, dodge, and stealth. So one reason you put somebody that will go into stealth next to your tank is if he's taunting and she's in stealth, if somebody does hit the tank, it's going to stop at the taunter. It's not going to go any further. It can't, because they can't move to them. Now, if you have splashback or effects that target something and then they do an area of effect attack, like they're going to AoE and hit everybody that's adjacent, well, adjacency only counts for 1 square over. So, for example, if he hits a Juggernaut with an attack that does adjacent targets, the most it can hit is Mystique, or if you have minions in slot D and E. If it hits Magneto, though, it can hit Mr. Sinister, it can hit Mystique, it can hit the minion in B, C, and D. Okay, it won't hit the Juggernaut, it won't hit Sabretooth. So, adjacency is a big thing. So when you're looking at your teams, that's how you really have to design it. For most basic teams, putting your tanks on the outside edges is good, unless your healers require them to be adjacent or something like that. You don't really have to worry about the heals being right next to the tank. Some of them will require that, so you have to actually pay attention to the kits of the characters you're putting together. For example, the BKT build. This is my BKT build, and it doesn't have my tank, my actual tank Thanos at the end, on either end, because I'm not using Thanos primarily for his tanking ability. I'm using him for his energy slash ability generation abilities. So I'm using him for when things die, he's going to funnel energy to Minerva and Rocket Raccoon. He does that to adjacent characters. And as I said, they're the ones that are adjacent to him. Like, Minerva's adjacent to Groot, Star-Lord's adjacent to Rocket, Rocket and Minerva are adjacent to Thanos. Now, it does help that Groot's on the end, and when Rocket does his special ability, Groot will taunt, so that does give you a taunter on the end. And the reason you put Star-Lord over here is because he funnels energy to an adjacent person. You want his energy always going to Rocket in like U6, and then when you go into something like Dark Dimensions 2, you're going to swap Rocket and Minerva out. That way his energy will always go to Minerva. With that being said, that's the basic gist of it. You just have to look around. Now, somebody asked me, how do you place Asgardians? So this is how I'll do this. I'll show you my Asgardian setup right here. Now, a lot of people can mix and match these. They do that various ways. Some of my friends say put Thor on the outside where Hela's at and put Hela in the middle. Some people say have Loki over near Sif, which I've tried that. I mean, it does work. But with Sif taunting all the time and doing the counterattacks, Loki may need to go where Heimdall is. But Heimdall to me is such an inconsequential character. If it does splash back to him, I'm fine with it. But Sif has her counterattacks already built in, so she'll get hit and counter, which stops the chain. So for me, when they target the next strongest character, they're going to target Thor. Like 5 times out of 10, they're going to try to target my Thor. And with Loki going into stealth, that breaks the chain going towards Hela. So that's how I've set that one up. Other people will set it up differently, where Thor will be on the outside with Loki in here, and the same thing. It doesn't really make much difference. Hela sometimes puts in the Greg minion here, so if they attack Greg, and it can also go chain back to Loki as well, to stop that kind of damage. This is just the typical setup I've done. Now, I have seen people swap out Thor and Hela, and it just boils down to personal preference as to where you want your stronger character. With Loki in here making everybody go stealth, it's really hard for me to truthfully say this is the best way to place the Asgardians. But this is how I've had my setup done for a while, and my Asgardians tend to rip through most teams. Like I said, if I do get AoE damage, if I do get a chain from here, it'll go here and then maybe hit Thor and it'll stop at Loki. It won't get to Sif. So, I mean, that's a huge chain. That's normally what you'll see with a Daredevil or a Deadpool. So why put Sif here in the middle when they're going to be attacking her and it might chain down through? So possibly moving Loki to Heimdall's position might be better, but normally I don't get to get Loki's stealth until about 2 or 3 turns in, and at that point I've pretty much got the game in hand if I'm fighting somebody. So I'll show you this setup. I'll just go ahead and I'll blitz with this team. I'm going to go up against what team would be good here? I'll take my Asgardians against Brotherhood team. Think that's fair? I know the blind hurts. The blind does hurt. So let's find somebody else. We'll go up against this Inhumans team. I'll take it up against an Inhumans team, and we'll see what's going on. It's Inhumans without Black Bolt, but we'll see if this Asgardian team will hold up against it. And this will just show you that my setup is pretty effective. I don't normally lose too much in the process. And you'll be able to see this. And then after this, we'll go hit my Dark Dimensions. And then maybe later tonight, I will go and do a second run for Dark Dimensions and open up some redstone. So just not to keep it worn down. I'm going to try to take that. into stealth mode. Now we're going to get the taunt up on Sif. So it's just maybe I shouldn't have fought against Inhumans. Inhumans seem to be really good, especially if that was bad. That was bad on my end. But the tactic is sound. They targeted Thor, they targeted Sif, but they're just an overpowered team. So we'll try a team that's closer to power level. I'll spend 25 to do this. This won't be a big deal. And you'll see. That punch up was pretty large, a 411k versus like a 268k team. So just a little more. So let's go ahead and we'll target this tricky. Spread all the right so I'll start targeting some of the damage guys. Now I've separated it to where this girl's by herself, so now I can just start chaining into these guys. We'll hit Miles. But you see how my splash over effects wipe out whatever's in the center? It's pretty amazing. So understanding the concept of the chains and the actual damage that's adjacent is pretty important. But that's how that team's supposed to work. That was like a 20k punch up. Nobody lost any health. That's how it's really supposed to work. So with that being shown, with just a simple visual there, everybody's either targeting Sif or they're targeting Thor, and it doesn't ever really normally get down to my health. That's how I set it up. But with that being said, let's go over here and we're going to do our Dark Dimensions 3 run real quick. This is what would be my day 6 run, really, because I did day 5 kind of in part of a live stream, so I'll put day 6 on this one. We're going to go in here. This is the current team I have set up, and we'll see what happens. This has not been a super heavy duty team for me right now. They're getting the job done pretty much just because of Phoenix, and if Hela gets to do her AoE, that's a good chunk of damage too. But a lot of these characters are dying super fast. So I'm going to target Captain Marvel because she's a heavy hit. We'll see what kind of just to try and get her out of the way. See, that did adjacent. So her, and then it moved to Captain Thor. Everything in the world. So let's get her special. Let's go ahead and try to hit the. Now Captain America's got his taunt up. So let's try to get from the looks of this, I'm actually doing better than I thought I would. This is really like my maybe second try. Okay. Now we'll do the tactic that my alliance has chosen to do, where you just revive Phoenix and go in and try to do her special real quick. And we'll see if they can get me a quick kill. Go in here and do this. Maybe I can get at least, I don't know, the thing down. he's got a pretty high defense, so probably not, but we'll see what happens. Well, that's my DD2 right there. So with that being done, we'll stop this film for right now. I might come back later after it resets, try to run it one more time for you guys for the day, and open up some red star orbs, because I'm sitting on quite a few of them right now. I've got, with all these amazing offers out here, I've got 26, but after the reset tonight, I'll get 5 more. So that'll give me 31 red star orbs to open up tonight. And we'll see if we can get lucky and pull something good. Anyway, thank you guys for watching so much. I hope you enjoyed this content. I hope some of it can be insightful for you guys. And please, if you like the content, give me a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, click the bell icon so you know when I put up another video. And I hope you all have a wonderful and safe day. Bye.